In the Americas, the native indigenous culture was mainly in the 15th century. In the frozen regions of the far north, lived the indigenous Inuit tribe. Winter is both an enemy and a guardian for them. 1. It is early in the morning. The sunlight does not reach the snow city. A young woman named Ira stood outside the igloo, wrapped in a woolen blanket tightly. Her breath disappeared into the sky like smoke. Today her big responsibility is, the tribe's food supply has dwindled. If we do not hunt seals in the Okodi Sea, the night fire will go out, and the children will cry with hunger. 2. Era is not alone. Her mother Kanaluk is by her side. The two of them lowered the boat into the water as cold as ice knives. Kanaluk said, "Girl, our strength is not only in our hands, but also in our courage." The shadow of a seal was visible under the waves. Ira silently threw her spear. The prey gathered in the boat. The two women regained their breath of life. 3. Returning to the tribe, the girls lit a fire. A small spark of fire on a stone rubbed from the ice. The mothers sewed woolen clothes to keep them warm. Their hands, fast as a sharp wind and warm as a mother's caress. Ira's younger sister Tala was shivering in the cold. Ira hugged her and told her a story. The story of the moon goddess Sedna, who protects the creatures of the sea. Tala smiled. There is warmth in stories too. 4. The night is harder. Outside the wolves howl. Still the women stood, warming the children's milk, drying everyone's clothes, removing the cold that had accumulated in their bones. Kanaluk slowly says, "Winter tests us. We win in unity." Ira looks into the flickering flames of the fire and thinks, in this world, the strong of those who preserve life. Conclusion. In the snowy medieval America, women were hunters, seamstresses, storytellers, doctors, protectors. Their tenacity and love kept the tribe alive every winter. Ira knew, no matter how sharp the snow, the fire taught by her mother would sustain her. Excellent. So begins chapter -2 check mark. The pace of the story will increase a little, and new mysteries will also come. Bow and Arrow, Daughters of Snow, chapter 2. The murmur of dark waves, a calm morning like ice frozen in dew. But a strange restlessness in Ira's mind. At night, she had a dream. A huge shadow in the depths of the sea, coming towards her. Her eyes, red like fire. Ira understood as soon as she opened her eyes. This was not fear in her mind, but a warning. Keycap. 1 Emergency meeting of hunters. The chief of the tribe, Attic, called everyone. Panic in his eyes, strange signs on the coast. A large animal has come. The seals are running away. The waves in the sea have changed. The women are silent. The men are afraid. Ira came forward alone and said, "I will go to the sea. I saw. Something has come." Everyone looked at her. A brave woman. Kanaluk squeezed her hand, whispered, "Do not be afraid. It is a signal from the goddess of dreams." Keycap. 2 On the way to the sea, Era and 2 other hunters moved through the water covered with thin ice. The atmosphere was unusually silent. Suddenly, thump! A blow to the bottom of the boat. The water began to swirl violently. Ira's breath caught. A shadow appeared below. Huge, terrible. It was like a giant curse of winter. But the shadow disappeared again. The hunters wanted to turn back in terror. But Era's shoulders were firm. A power rose from within. "If we run away, the tribe will not survive. We must know the name of our enemy." Keycap 3 Ice Wolf. On the way back, a pair of red eyes appeared from the ice mound. Ice Wolf. Famine-ridden, they attack as soon as they smell humans. Ira immediately pulls out her knife. Before the wolf can jump, she dodges and strikes hard. The blood freezes into ice into a dark red line. The three survive, but the fear deepens. The harsh cold transforms hunger into a wild monster. Keycap 4 Invisible threat returning to the tribe. Ira looks up at the sky and sees the moon is half covered by black clouds. Canalook says softly, "This winter is different. The goddesses are silent, and the sea is angry." Ira knows. This fight is not only against the cold, but also against an unknown force. That night, she couldn't sleep. Outside, the wolf howled, and from the depths of the sea slowly came an unfamiliar voice. Who? As if the dark waves were calling him, "You will stand in the coming storm." Of course, the excitement of the story will increase even more this time. Fire it started. Bow and Arrow Snow Daughters Chapter 3 Arrival of the Shadow Deep Night. Suddenly, a crunching sound was heard on the snow. As soon as she woke up and went outside, Ira saw a torch-like light on the mountain slope in front. Not fire in the snow. A human torch. An unknown group is entering their territory. Keycap 1 Mysterious stranger. The chief of the tribe quickly gathered everyone. Tension was building in the cold air. The strangers came forward, a woolen mask covering their face, a long spear in their hand. Only one opened his mask, bright eyes, like the sparkle of a storm on the snow. His name, Aruk. He said, "The sea has changed in the far south. An old monster has awakened beneath the waves. Our village is destroyed. We seek refuge." But Chief Attic looked suspicious. If strangers seek refuge, danger can also come with it. Keycap 2 About Ira and Aruk. While everyone was drunk on quarrel, Ira quietly moved towards Aruk. "Ira, did you see him? That shadow in the sea?" Aruk: "Yes. His eyes are red like a blood tide. We call him the Hunter of the Bottom." Ira's heart stopped for a moment. Just like his dream. Aruk added, "He smells blood in the sea. The winter has strengthened him." Ira understood. Not only winter for the tribe, death is coming by sea. Keycap 3 Seeds of Doubt. Attic announced, "You will find shelter, but you will not be hidden from the eyes." Many whispered, "The strangers have brought danger." Canalook pulled Ira behind him. "Be careful. When the shadow comes, even in the face of a friend, the sign of the enemy is hidden." Ira thought, is Aruk really a friend? Or is he a spy for a monster? Keycap 4 The scream of the sea. Suddenly, the earth trembles. A deafening roar from the sea. The ice cracks into wide cracks. Everyone's faces turn white with fear. Aruk screams, "He has come. Run." A huge shadow under the ice rushes towards them. A hostile chest descending from space, a vision of evil power. Before Ira could raise her sword, the waves came up. the horn of the giant beast with blood eyes and its hoarse roar. Hoo! There was no escaping this time. This winter war must end at the hands of the fire maidens. Bow and Arrow, Daughters of the Snow. Chapter 4. The first attack of the blood-eyed monster, the monster that was hiding under the ice. He is no longer hiding. A mountain of darkness rose as if tearing the sea's chest. Ira saw death so close for the first time in her life. Keycap 1. The hunters fighter. Teak shouted, "Pick up the spear. Fire. Bring fire." The hunters picked up torches and started throwing them at the monster. But the flames went out on its thick ice skin. Ira's hands were shaking. Still, she stood. Aruk gave courage. "Whether you want it or not, this battle is yours." Ira took a deep breath and raised her spear. The metal hit the monster's skin only sparks. The monster roared. Grr. In one fell swoop, the three hunters fell into the ice. The blood froze in the ice like red veins. Keycap 2. Women's resistance. Kanaluk was piling ice blocks against the walls of the igloo to protect the women and children. But she was not just a mother, a warrior too. She shot ice arrows quickly. Precisely. One arrow pierced the monster's eyes. The monster groaned. The tribe roared in victory. Keycap 3. Aruk's mysterious power. The demon jumped again. Everyone would fall. Just then, Aruk raised his hands and uttered something in an unknown ancient language. The waves of the sea turned upside down. A white light came out from his hand and the thin mist in the air froze and became ice, stuck to the demon's feet. Ira was shocked. Is he human? Or something else? Aruk closed his eyes and said, "It won't stop him. It will just stop him for a while." Keycap 4. Era's first fire. When hit by the demon, Ira stepped back. Her torch went out. Her body was freezing in the cold. Then she remembered her mother's words, "Fire is not only in wood, fire is in the heart." Ira gritted her teeth and tried her best to rub the stone shining. A spark of fire rose. But this time, the spark left his hand and turned into a huge fire. The red flame reflected in his eyes and rushed into the monster's mouth. The monster screamed in pain. The sky trembled with the roar of ice. Ira understood. This fire was her own power. The birth of a hidden power. Aruk stared in amazement. Keycap 5. Temporary victory. Attic ordered again. Return him to the sea. Now. Now. With the combined blow of everyone, the monster slipped over the edge of the ice and fell into the sea. The waves swelled and swallowed everything into darkness. Peace, but temporary. Ira gasped. The igloos collapsed all around, the snow stained with blood. Yet everyone was alive. Aruk said slowly, "This was just the beginning. The hunter from the bottom will return again. And next time more hungry." Ira looked at the sky. The harsh winter moon had turned red. She knew fire was not only hers now, but the tribe's last hope. Bow and Arrow, Daughters of the Snow. Chapter 5. The secret of Fire. Night has fallen. Under the calm snow a bottomless storm is hidden. Ira is sitting alone by the fire. The warmth in her palms, which is not like before. It is like the spirit of fire born with her. But she herself does not know. How does she have this power? Keycap 1. Mother's confession. Kanaluk slowly approached and placed his hand on her shoulder. Era, the fire inside you is not an ordinary fire. Ira looked at her with surprised eyes. Kanaluk took a deep breath. Your grandmother was the keeper of fire. She had the blessings of the goddesses in her hands. That power is in your blood. Ira's heart trembled. Then that spark had been hidden within her for so long. Kanaluk said, "But remember, the greater the power, the more terrible its price." Keycap 2 Aruk's true identity here. Aruk stood on the edge of the sea. As Aira approached, he said, "You thought I was a spy. But it's true. I'm not human like you." Aira stopped. Aruk slowly spread his hands. A blue light burst forth on the ice. The ancient depths of the sea were reflected in his eyes. "I am the sworn warrior of the sea goddess Sedna, the disobedient child of the goddess, the hunter of the underworld. I have come to stop her. With your power combined with fire." A strange pull tugged at Ira's heart, the wet scent of fear and faith. Keycap 3, the promise of the hidden cave. Aruk said, "There is a cave in the northern ice. There is the ancient fire of the goddesses. If you ignite that fire, the demon can be stopped forever." Ira hesitated. If they left the tribe, they would be helpless again. Aruk extended his hand towards her. "Sometimes, you have to leave home to be saved." An unknown warmth arose in Ira's chest. Keycap 4 The first touch. A sudden gust of wind blew through the ice. Ira shivered. Aruk took off his coat and wrapped it around her shoulders. Time suddenly stopped in the eyes of both of them. "You are brave, Ira. And you are mysterious, Aruk." A moment of silence, which can spread warmth even on a snowy night. But the distant sea reminded with an ominous roar, how short time is. Keycap 5 Night of a difficult decision. Ira returned to her mother. Kanaluk understood everything when he looked into her eyes. "Go, daughter. Choose the path of fire. We will survive, because you will light the light." Ira's eyes got wet, but she said in a firm voice, "I will return." With the end of winter, in the embrace of mother and daughter, a pledge of war, Ira stepped into the darkness of the night to the other side. The two powers of fire and sea combined. Not only ice on their way, the shadow of the waking monster. Bow and Arrow Daughters of Snow Chapter 6. The secret cave of the north. After overcoming the ice storm, Ira and Aruk reached the far edge of the north, where blue-green light dances in the sky, and the silence of the ice whispers old words. Ahead is that mysterious cave, as could only be heard in stories, where the goddesses themselves have hidden fire. Ira's chest is pounding. Despite her courage, fear is following her like a shadow. Aruk said, "Remember, there is fire inside you. The cave will only test how much you believe in the truth." Keycap 1 Door of fire. As soon as you enter the cave, the pattern of flames on the ice wall is visible. But surprisingly, the ice is not melting. Suddenly, an echo in the ice, "Child of fire, who made you?" Ira trembled. This voice was not of a human, of the goddesses. Ira replied, "My mother," and the light within her. An icy crack, the door opened, Aruk stood by and watched, with devotion. Keycap 2. The Trial of Three Flames, 3 floating fireballs inside. Keycap 1. The Flame of Courage. Keycap 2. The Flame of Sacrifice. Keycap 3. The Flame of Honesty. The Voice of the Goddesses. Again, the fire you choose. That will be your destiny. Ira hesitated. One fire means strength, but the other 2 sacrifices. Aruk would touch. The fire slipped from her hand. This test is only for her. Ira understood. This fight is hers alone. Keycap 3. Questions of the Flames. The first fire said, "What is courage? Running into battle, or stopping in fear?" The second flame said, "What does sacrifice mean? Your life, or sending the one you love away?" The third flame slowly, "What does truth mean? Knowing your identity, or admitting your darkness?" Each question hits Ira's chest. Her fear, love, and weakness, all revealed together. Keycap 4. Ira's decision. Ira took a deep breath and said, "I choose everything. Because life is not just one path. Courage, sacrifice, and truth, all 3 are my fires." The roar of the goddesses, the ice trembled. The fireballs merged and became a huge heart of fire. The light of power rushed towards Ira. Her hand was burning. But it wasn't burning. Rather, it makes him more alive. Aruk whispered in surprise, "You, the Queen of Fire." Keycap 5. Warning from the goddesses. The shadow of the cave suddenly turned blood red. The goddess's terrible warning voice. The hunter of the bottom will wake up in full form if he finds fire. The fire of war brings the end of winter but not peace. Ira was shocked. "Then why did you give me this power?" The answer came like thunder. "Because there is no one but you." The wall broke and the light went out. Ira put her hand on her knee. The weight of power was pounding in her chest. Aruk put his hand on her shoulder. "To conquer darkness you must first understand light. You have done it." Ira smiled for the first time, but in that smile the shadow of war was hidden. Bow and Arrow. Daughters of Snow. Chapter 7. The Revenge of the Sea Monster. Stormy wind. The raging sea. Ira was quickly returning to the tribe with Aruk, but it could be seen from afar. Everything was ending. The igloos had collapsed. The ice had turned red with blood. Women were crying, hugging their children. The monster had come again. This time, it was much hungrier than before. Much stronger. Keycap 1. Fire vs. Ice Monster. The monster broke through the ice and stood up. Its eyes were like balls of burning blood. Grr. The combination of 2 powers, fire and sea, together against one enemy. Keycap 2. The final blow of the monster. The monster screamed into the sky. The ice mountain began to collapse with a sound. A huge stone at Aruk's head. Ira quickly pushed him away, but he himself knocked back with the blow. A deep cut on his arm. Blood boiled like a faint fire. Aruk hugged his shoulder and whispered, "I will not lose you." Ira. A moment. An unknown promise in his eyes. Keycap 3. The final blast of fire. Ira stood up. No one could stop her. She knelt on the ground and raised her 2 hands to the sky. "Goddesses, give me strength. The strength to protect my family." A pattern of fire appeared on her body. A strange symbol that is the language of the goddesses. A huge coil of fire cloud rose from his hand. It went straight to the monster's eyes. Fire Dam. Fire. The sea shook. The monster roared and collapsed into the water. Under the ice, he disappeared into the darkness. Keycap 4. After silence, the storm stopped. The wind calmed. The children stopped crying. Ira walked slowly, a light of gratitude in everyone's eyes. Kanaluk ran and hugged the girl. You have returned. As the light of fire. Atik announced, from today, Ira, not the daughter of Tushar, but the protector of fire. Aruk looked at him silently, pride in his eyes and a tinge of fear. Because he knew, the war was just beginning. 5 Last scene. Storm prophecy in the night sky. The Irkodi Sea is raising hungry waves again. Even though the monster is gone, more power is awakening in the depths of the sea. The sea goddess Sedna's unknowing children roared together. The ice will break. Fire will rise. War will return. Ira looked at the moon and said, I am ready. Aruk stood beside her. We are ready. Fire and the sea now one heart.